Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and it's Brick Haul O'Clock with not one but two packages from bricklink.com. Right, so let's do these one at a time. I'll put one to one side. I'm sure I won't forget it while we do the other one. And both of these orders were actually inspired by sticker sheets that are quite hard to come by, or rather quite hard to get a decent price. So when I was kind of looking for those sticker sheets that were quite important to either past or future builds, I basically found very few of them available and decided to make an order from that store just to secure the bits I really needed. So while I was there, in traditional form, I bought all the other good stuff that I could lay my hands on. So although this order is very bulky, it only actually came to about £27, which actually, when you consider that there are 1,535 pieces in this order, that it's actually only about 1 3/4 pennies per piece. So there's loads and loads of volume here, but the main thing I wanted was a sticker sheet, and here it is. In fact, I think there should be two of them. Let's hope so. Quite hard to get out of the bag. Let's see if I can do it without damaging it. There we go. Yeah, so we have got two of them, and they're from a Disney Moana set. There we go, there's the sticker sheet, and that's 43183, Moana's Island Home. And there are none of these sticker sheets available for purchase in the UK now, now that I've bought these two. I don't know if that's just not a very popular set for vendors to buy. Maybe it's not got very many interesting parts in it. But basically I wanted all of these to make an interesting roof with a nice pattern on. And I'll probably be able to use at least one of these Maui, he's called, isn't he? Sort of mural type pieces as well. And there's a round one there for decoration, and even a little map, probably a cushion. And that sleeping bag type one could almost go in fast food corner in the outdoor adventure shop as well, if I wanted to. In fact, I probably will do that. That looks pretty cool, actually. So I've got two of those sheets. Now, this is a set from 2020. So it might be that more of these come out in due course and are available, but I sort of got nervous and thought, on the basis that they might not, I better secure the only two in the UK while I can. So there we go. Now the rest of this order is actually new. So controversially, I'm not going to tip all this into a massive heap, because I'll only then have to re-separate it all and put it in exactly the same bags afterwards. Usually I wash all my Lego pieces, but if they're all brand new, then there's not really much point. So, in no particular order, these were a penny each. So these are 1x1 round plates in yellow. 1 penny each as well. Same in pink. And I can use the pink ones for blossom in a tree, as well as potential coral uses and all the rest of it. Got an absolute huge bag of these. These were also a penny each, and these are the newer style flower pieces in lime green. So you can see they've got that sort of frilly edge to them. And I think these will be really useful in my undersea setup, because I'm going to need to support all sorts of things like vines, which we'll come on to in a minute, different types of leaf, different types of things. And this is a really functional piece, because if I just take one out, it's got the tiny little pinhole in it as well, right in the center, that can hold things that use that. Obviously, it's got the interior type bar holding stud hole there, and then it can also take something like a brick or a round 1x1 brick or something like that to go completely over the top of that. So it's very versatile at holding things. So if I have loads of these all over my sea floor, then basically I can connect loads of other things onto them and use them in their own right as well. So yeah, this guy must have gone to a pick-a-brick wall, I think, and got an absolute load of these, because they were a penny each. And I don't live near a Lego store at all, so I'm never going to get better than that. So here we go, a huge bag of those. And while we're on flower pieces, here's some in this lovely bright light blue. So there's 100 of those. So they're really nice. I might use those in the city, actually, just because they're a really nice flower colour. Yeah, I like those. So we've got 2 bags of flowers, 2 bags of studs. There's more studs. There's some purple ones. also a penny each. And here's some lime ones, also a penny each. Now, I can use stacks of these to represent coral life under the sea. I can also use them in loads of different builds in my city. And I do have a specific build in mind for some of them, which is why I've been collecting a lot of these 1x1 plates. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. And it's not coming particularly soon either, so you'll have to be patient. Oh, groan, how annoying. And then there's loads of white ones in there amongst some other pieces. So I've got a few, what have we got? Bracket pieces, modified plates, and even some curved slopes in there as well. I think they're for an upcoming vehicle build, which I won't tell you about as well. I think when we get the next haul, we'll be doing some vehicles with the pieces in that delivery. So that's what they'll be helping towards. I'm always running out of these half Technic pins. I'll be using a few of those in my factory build, I'm sure, so it's good to get a few of those. They were a penny each as well. Also for a penny each is these sort of flame or plume type pieces. So this is a good example of something with that very narrow pointed bit at the bottom that will fit into the flower pieces. And I thought they could be some sort of drifting coral thing that's sort of, you know, flowing in the breeze of the ocean currents. And by having 100 of these, either in big clumps or one huge great big clump, who knows, sort of spread around what will be, after all, 5x4 base plates. So you think 100 of these over 20 base plates, you'll only have an average of 5 rather, get my maths right, per base plate. So if you think about just 5 of these on a normal size base plate, it's not very many. So I think they'll be really good. And the other thing about these is they are in that trans neon orange rather than just trans orange. So these are going to glow when we put a UV light on them. So I think that will also make them just fly out when we do that. So that's really good. Then we've got these vines themselves. So there's an absolute load there, and there, and there, and there. So there should be a total of 190. They weren't a penny each, unfortunately, but they were 3p each, which is pretty good going if you ask me. And they're all brand new. So I imagine they were part of the pick a brick wall from this person's local store. So I'm very happy to have those because I think I'm going to need an absolute load of them to do my undersea area as well. So the undersea area will be coming probably in 2021, to be honest. Right. Now this was a piece that I was quite interested to see. It hasn't come out in many sets. It's kind of a windscreen piece that might have been used on a Cars set or something like that, but obviously it's just solid red here. This one was from the Rebel A-Wing Starfighter, set 75247. And I thought it looked very much like the extractor hood over a sort of cooker or a stove or something like that. So if you imagine a sort of stove down here, and the extractor fan would be built into the underside of that. So I thought I'd use it for that. Goodness knows where, but I thought it was a really interestingly shaped piece. I mean, one kind of fast food place that I'm considering doing at the moment is a noodle bar using the lovely stickers from that Pigsy's food truck. So it might be part of that. Anyway, it's a nice bright colour, and as I say, it's very uncommon, so I'm glad to have that. Now here was some more pieces. These weren't a penny, they were 2p each, and these are just 1x1 cheese wedge pieces in translucent. And I don't know if I'm using those under the sea or maybe as waves on the surface. I don't really know, but I thought getting a load of those for quite cheap as well would be a good idea. Round tiles in Translight Blue. Again, I don't really know, but these are a penny each as well. So, you know, I've really filled my boots with all of these as much as I can. 1x2 dark bluish grey tiles. Another really cheap thing at 3p each. It's only a little bit cheaper than you'd buy them new from Lego, maybe at 4p or maybe 5p, I forget, each, but it all adds up. So getting 100 or so of those for a penny off is definitely going to be used in my city and is a pound saved. And I'm all about saving money. Then I've got some brown pieces. Should I tip these ones out? They seem to be more of an assortment, bit bigger. Lots of different arch pieces, and I'm going to be using these for trees because you can make some really interesting sort of limb shapes with those. So you imagine a trunk's where my hand is, and you could have something like that being a branch to get a bit more distance, maybe over a train line or something like that. So there's quite a few of those. Ah, yes. Now I think these are the very last pieces I need for my massive giant crab that's going to be storming all of my undersea scene as well. That'll be one of the 3 Aqua Raiders type creatures, and it's going to be a crab that's about that big, and there'll be a lobster that's about that big, and there'll be a squid that's about that big, I think. So I'm really looking forward to doing all of those. I might have to do the sea creatures way before the sea sort of setup just to get those built, and I think these bricks were just to fill in gaps in the project. Let's tip out these black ones as well. Yep, so these axle pieces, which will hold onto some wheels, are for those vehicle builds. And I think all these hinge bricks and hinge pieces are for the giant squid of that group that I just mentioned. So I think they're the very, very final pieces of those. So I'm hoping that'll be enough. And some grey modified bricks and modified plates and axle wheels and all the rest there for a number of projects. Leave them in the bag. And then the last bag of this first order is mixed, so I'll tip that out because it'll probably need to go several different places in my very complicated storage system. So I've got some bright green round plates, or half round if we're being picky, 8x4s. These are going to be part of the floor of my fairground. I'm going to use this bright green as my sort of grass. So I just pick them up whenever I see some that are really cheap, so they must have been good value. Some neon green round 1x1 plates again. That'll probably be for the undersea. Now I've done my subway, my haunted subway. I won't need them for that. Now here's a very interesting hairpiece with kind of a big quiff bit at the front and a red bandana. That's from the Disney Hercules figure. I didn't buy any of the Disney characters because I don't think they'll really go in my city. But if there's the odd piece like this wonderful hairpiece that will be easily used on, I don't know, a personal trainer or something like that maybe, then I'm very much up for getting them. But that's a wonderful hairpiece really, isn't it? Yeah, I like that a lot. And then you won't fail to have noticed these 2 huge electric bolt type things. These are the same piece as I used in my haunted subway, except that was trans neon green, of course, going to, well, pretty much clear, I think, and this is orange and trans pink kind of mix, so it's a bit more of an unworldly colour. But this pair I'll probably use under the sea as well as kind of coral pieces. Think about that, seeing a pair of those maybe at different heights, sort of drifting in the current. I think that looks quite accurate. So those 2 are from the set 41186, Azari, and the Goblin Forest Escape. That's quite hard to say. That's an elf set from 2017. But I really like those, so that's good to have. I could probably get more of those, but they aren't that common. And then a few tiles and little bits and bobs just for other builds or from what I saw available in the store. So far so good. Let's get on with a second one, which is a bit smaller, but has a very similar sort of theme really, in that it was a sticker sheet that I wanted to get, and then, I haven't cut through that very well, and there we go. So that must be the sticker sheet, and I've filled my boots with as many other bricks as they had that fit the bill. So the star of the show is this. Wonderful. So you can tell what set that's from, 60197, which is the passenger train, the most recent one. I always call it the Patreon train because of my wonderful Patreon supporters having paid for it. But I wanted another sticker sheet, and it's rather wasteful in many respects because it's pretty much only for these 4 stickers up here, because we've got one more passenger carriage than you'd get in a standard 2 sets. And I like having everything just so, as you probably have worked out by now. So I wanted these 4 seat stickers to complete my set. Now, I've already started using these cup ones elsewhere in my city, like on my original fast passenger train buffet car 60051. And look at all these train symbols that I can be using, and even these pneumatics and oil and water type stickers. So I'm sure they'll go a bit further than just that. Indeed, there's a nice green Lego City one, but those were the main reason. And this vendor had this whole sheet for, well, it was definitely less than £2. I think it was £1.50. And other vendors, if they've got one at all, are selling for about £10. So I thought I would benefit from this guy's generosity and his very fair price, in my mind, to get that sticker sheet as well. So these are the main reasons for both of these smaller orders, which is why I'm doing them together. Right, so a couple of minifigures. Now these are both from the Ninjago City set, which is 70620. And I don't have that set, so I don't have those minifigures either. But these were quite reasonably priced, so I thought I'd get them as well for variety in my city. Ooh, push them together properly. And they're brand new. Everything in this order is brand new as well, so I'm really happy with that. Less washing to do. And this is the character called Mother Doomsday. I know nothing about that character or why he's called that. But he's got a Galador t-shirt on, which is rather fantastic. Oh, and it's even got a symbol on the back. I didn't know that. Has he got double-sided? No. And he's got a bit of a tied, knotted hair, which is really good as well. And if you don't know, Galador was actually a Lego range from, well, not too far back, sort of early 2000s. And they were more like action figures, really, rather than Lego. I mean, obviously, you did still build them, but they weren't exactly using just system parts. Here's one, for example, 8324, called Euripides, just so you get an idea of what Galador sets were like. So anyway, he looks absolutely great. I don't want to bury him in a shop. I'll have him on a street because I just love that t-shirt. I think it looks great. And then the second one is here. And this guy, who is called Guy, has got a very familiar face and a very familiar hairpiece, but it's the torso, really, with these sort of fish on, which is a bit weird, I must say. But printing on the back as well on the hood. But it's a really nice colour piece. So anyway, Guy can also be a member of my city, or resident in my city. Ah, more birds and more spiders. Hopefully the spiders haven't killed all the birds. So I've used all of my spiders in that recent build of the haunted subway station. So I thought I'd get a couple more. So there they are. And I also wanted to get a lot more of these white little birds that have been in an increasing number of sets now, including the mail plane 60250. And I absolutely adore them. So I want to get whole flocks of them because there aren't enough birds in my city by a long chalk. And these were about 90p each at this store. It sounds like quite a lot, I must admit, but I've got 10 of them there because you weren't able to get these individually from Bricks and Pieces. But now, just as this arrives, I checked actually to see if that fact was still true. And they have actually started selling these, much like they've started selling the seagulls that we got in the last Bricks and Pieces order. You can get these brand new straight from Lego. So yeah, they're 94p. Ooh, so I did save 4p still per bird. That's 40p. I'll take it. I'll take it wherever it comes. A few little grey pieces. Goodness knows. I'll tip them out now as well. Dark blue plate. I know that's for my undersea base. Oh, it might actually be for my giant squid, actually. It's amazing how rare a 2x6 dark blue plate is. You'd think it'd be common, but it's not. A couple more random bits. Now this has got some interesting parts in. So this was also from that Ninjago City set, and I couldn't really work out what it was supposed to be, because I don't own that set, as I say. But it is a hairpiece, but it was kind of on the side there in a little scene where two people are drinking tea. And I don't know if it's supposed to be a plant or what, but it doesn't really look much like a plant if you ask me, so maybe you can tell me what that's for. But I'm going to use it as a hairpiece. as kind of somebody who's decided to dye their hair green. It looks a bit odd, but I'm going with it. I quite like that. And then another really interesting piece is this sort of statuette slash figurine with a black hooded character with a cape. And this was part of the Hogwarts Castle set 71043, but it's also part of Darth Vader's Castle 75251, where there are a couple there. And I just really like it, so I'm going to just, I don't know, either have that as a toy or maybe I'll put it in my Death Star or something like that. I don't know, but I couldn't resist buying one of those, could I really? Fantastic. A couple of tree root type pieces. What's in this mixed bag? Lots of the bottoms of turntable pieces. They're quite good for decorative elements, I always find, and they look really like the grates of a drain at the bottom of a drain pipe. That's how I use them on Fast Food Corner. A couple more of those wonderful trans neon orange 2x2 round bricks for my cargo area. I think I've got all the ones I need there now. These 1x1 trans bricks are for my street lamps in my old town. You remember I did one street lamp and I'm going to be doing a heck of a lot more. One arch in old grey. I think that's going to be for another one of those souvenir Brick Nottingham things that I still haven't really put into my city. And I won't tip these out. A huge bag of tan coloured cheese wedge pieces, 1x1 ones. And these were a penny each as well. So I can add that to my great big stack of 1 penny items. But I figured I'd need a heck of a lot of these as part of my sea bottom as well. All of the sand in amongst all of the plants just to give it a lot more texture. So there's actually 290 of those in there. But I don't think that will go that far. It's amazing when you've got a bag of this, how many you need when you're doing such a large area. But it's definitely good value at a penny each. You won't get much cheaper than that. So, all in all, a pretty good double haul there. Not so much interesting pieces perhaps this time, but we've got some very essential sticker sheets for projects past and present. And we've also got quite a few interesting pieces with this hood piece, these for the undersea, and these minifigures and birds. But really importantly, we've got some of the absolute bulk items that we need to do our undersea setting. And that just isn't possible for people who don't live near Lego stores for a reasonable price, usually. So I'm very happy with that indeed. Awesome. Yes, so I'm really happy with that haul, especially happy that I don't have to do any washing up of all these pieces, given that they're all new. I'm really looking forward to putting the birds in the city, probably all in one big tree together or something like that to make maximum impact. And I'm really happy to have the itch scratched that is not having bricks without these stickers on, so that's a real benefit. Yeah, good. So as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. How you can do this is detailed in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be doing something or other in the city. Still haven't decided, before we go back on Monday to this build desk for the next part of Manufacturing Mondays, where we'll be continuing the build of our GBC style factory. Great. See you then.